What happens when Earth's strongest heroes make a mistake they can never undo? Superman, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor, the legends we trust, once made a choice that shocked the universe. It wasn't a battle with Thanos. It wasn't even against an enemy. It was a single mistake, and an innocent alien paid the ultimate price. This is the story the Avengers never wanted the world to know. The mistake that shook the universe. The story begins not with a fight, but with silence. A silence so heavy that even Superman could hear the echo of his own heartbeat. The galaxy stretched wide and endless before the heroes, stars blinking like watchful eyes. Superman, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor stood together, for giants of power, for protectors of Earth, for beings trusted with the fate of billions. And yet, in this silence, they carried the weight of something darker, guilt. Because tonight wasn't a victory. Tonight was a mistake. The universe would remember this night not as a battle won, but as the night its protectors turned into destroyers. It had started with a signal, a faint, broken cry from the edges of the Andromeda sector. At first, the heroes thought it was another threat, a trap set by cosmic warlords or a message from enemies lurking in the void. But when the signal repeated, Superman's sharp Kryptonian senses caught something the others missed. It wasn't a threat. It was a plea, a child's voice. Weak, afraid, lost. Help me, the static whispered. Thor gripped his hammer tighter, lightning sparking at the edge of his fingers. A trick, he muttered. The cosmos is full of deceivers. Iron Man's HUD lit up with readings. Signals unstable, origin point shifting. Could be cloak tech. Could be bait. We don't walk into traps anymore, remember? But Superman's eyes burned with that look the others knew too well. The unshakable need to protect. If there's even a chance it's real, we can't ignore it. Not this time. Hulk growled, his massive chest rising like a storm. If it's bad guy, Hulk smash. If it's kid, Hulk save. And so, against their doubts, the team moved. They tore through wormholes, leapt across systems, chasing that fragile cry through the cold void until they found it. What they discovered wasn't a battlefield. It was a child, floating alone on a shattered fragment of a planet. The wreckage of a world scattered like ashes around him. His skin glowed faintly, a soft blue light, like the reflection of moonlight on water. His eyes, wide, innocent, filled with terror, locked onto the heroes as they descended. He was no older than 10 human years. An alien child, the last survivor of a dead planet. Please, his voice trembled through broken telepathy. Don't leave me. For the first time in centuries, the 4 greatest heroes fell silent. Even Thor lowered his hammer. Even Iron Man, usually sarcastic, felt his throat tighten beneath the weight of his suit. Superman bent down, cape flowing, and placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. You're safe now. We've got you. And for a fleeting moment, the universe felt whole. But that moment didn't last. Because far away, hidden in the debris, something stirred. A defense system, ancient, automatic, unforgiving. The last weapon of the boys' destroyed people, designed to attack any who approached the survivor. It activated. Without warning, beams of plasma screamed across the void. Hulk roared, taking the first hit across his back. Thor swung Mjolnir, shattering the second blast. Iron Man unleashed a counterstrike, targeting the source of the fire. Superman shielded the child, his own body taking the brunt of the explosion. In seconds, the scene shifted from rescue to war. But in the chaos, one thing was forgotten. The boy. Superman shouted, "Protect him!" as he deflected another strike. Hulk leapt forward, smashing through the wreckage to silence the weapons. Thor unleashed storms of lightning, while Iron Man calculated every angle, firing precision blasts to keep the enemy at bay. And yet, in their fury, in their instinct to destroy, the heroes missed the truth. The defense system wasn't firing at them. It was firing at anyone who touched the child. Because the child wasn't just a survivor. He was the key, the last spark of his people's life force, their final weapon, or their final hope. And by holding him, by drawing near, the Avengers had triggered his doom. The system recharged, One last blast. A surge of unstoppable energy lanced through the void. And before anyone could react, the boy's body shuddered. His glowing eyes widened in shock. He reached towards Superman, small fingers trembling. And then, with a whisper that broke the unbreakable, "Thank you," the light in him flickered and died. Silence. The battle ended in an instant. The weapons powered down, their purpose complete. No more defense. No more enemy. Nothing remained except the body of an innocent child floating in Superman's arms, motionless. Thor's hammer dropped, the sound echoing like a thunderclap in the void. Hulk's rage dissolved into a guttural cry, one that shook even Iron Man to his core. And Superman's face was carved in grief, eyes burning not with heat vision, but with tears. "We were supposed to save him," Iron Man whispered, his voice breaking through static. "We were supposed to," but there were no words left. No excuses, no justifications. The heroes had failed, and in that failure, something inside them cracked. Because the universe might forgive them for losing a war, but would it ever forgive them for losing a child? The fallout of failure. The silence after the boy's death was heavier than any battlefield the heroes had ever stood on. Superman still cradled the lifeless body, his cape drifting weightlessly in the void. Hulk's fists were clenched, not in rage this time, but in shame. Thor stared into the abyss, the glow of distant stars reflected in his eyes, and even Iron Man, hidden beneath metal and tech, felt smaller than he ever had before. But silence doesn't last forever, not in a universe that is always watching. The first transmission came minutes later. A patrol cruiser from the Galactic Council detected the energy surge. Cameras locked on instantly, broadcasting the scene across thousands of systems. And there they were, Earth's mightiest heroes, holding the dead body of an innocent child. The image spread faster than light. Every corner of the galaxy gasped. On 1,000 worlds, voices rose. Did the Avengers kill him? Back on Earth, the news exploded. Screens blared footage of Superman's grief, Hulk's roar, Thor's fallen hammer, and Iron Man's trembling voice. Headlines screamed across the globe. Avengers responsible for alien child's death. Heroes or monsters? The mistake that changed everything. People didn't want explanations. They wanted someone to blame. And for the first time, the Avengers weren't gods. They weren't saviors. They were accused. The Council wasted no time. Within hours, a summons was sent. The Avengers were ordered to stand trial before the Intergalactic Court. "We saved the universe more times than they can count," Thor growled, lightning sparking as he paced their ship. "And now they dare to summon us like criminals?" Iron Man removed his helmet, his face pale. "Thor, perception is stronger than truth. They don't see what happened. They only see what it looked like." Hulk slammed a fist into the wall. "Kid died because of us. Hulk knows truth. Hulk guilty." Superman's voice cut through, calm but broken. "Then we face them. If we run, we prove them right. If we stay, maybe we can explain." But deep down, even he knew, sometimes the truth wasn't enough. The trial became the greatest spectacle the galaxy had ever seen. Billions tuned in. The chamber was massive, carved from obsidian, glowing with cosmic light. Thousands of species filled the seats, their eyes burning with judgment. At the center stood the Avengers, four of the most powerful beings in existence, chained like criminals. The prosecutor, a silver-skinned being from Xandar, raised his voice. "The galaxy saw your actions. You claimed to protect life, yet you brought death. A child trusted you and died in your arms. Tell us, Superman, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, are these the hands of heroes or butchers?" Gasps echoed across the chamber. Superman's fists tightened. Thor's jaw locked. Hulk lowered his head. And Iron Man spoke first. "We didn't kill him," Tony said, his voice sharp. "We tried to save him. The system was rigged. The weapons fired at anyone who touched him. We didn't know." "Didn't know?" the prosecutor sneered. "And yet you approached. You, the so-called geniuses, the warriors, the gods, too blind to see a trap, too arrogant to realize your presence would end his life." Thor's fury erupted. We are not arrogant. We are warriors of honor. We have bled for this galaxy more times than— Enough, the judge's voice thundered. The crowd erupted in whispers, some sympathetic, most unforgiving. And then came the moment that shattered everything. A witness stepped forward, a survivor from the destroyed planet, one of the few who had escaped before its fall. Her voice shook as she pointed at the Avengers. That child was our last hope. He carried within him the essence of our people. You didn't just lose a boy, you destroyed an entire race's future. Her words struck harder than any weapon. Superman's knees nearly buckled. Hulk groaned, burying his face in his hands. Thor gripped his hammer, trembling with rage he couldn't unleash. And Iron Man, for once, had no words. The galaxy gasped again, because this wasn't just about guilt. It was about genocide. Verdict day arrived. Billions tuned in once again. The chamber was tense, the hero's fate balanced on a razor's edge. The judge's voice echoed across the chamber. The Avengers stand accused of negligence, arrogance, and the death of the last child of Xylar. By the authority of the Galactic Council, the pause stretched like eternity. You are hereby exiled, stripped of honor, stripped of trust. No world under the Council's banner shall call upon you again. The chamber exploded with cheers and jeers. Some shouted for mercy, but most screamed for justice. The Avengers stood in silence. Exiled, condemned. No longer Earth's mightiest heroes. No longer the galaxy's protectors. Just four fallen legends with the blood of a child on their hands. When the trial ended, they returned to their ship. The silence between them was worse than any prison cell. Hulk sat in a corner, rocking slowly, muttering, "Hulk, monster." Thor stared at the stars, whispering the names of gods he no longer felt worthy of. Iron Man poured drink after drink, drowning in guilt behind hollow eyes. And Superman held the boy's small cloak, torn and burned, in his hands. "We failed," he whispered, "and the universe will never forgive us." But somewhere, deep in the shadows of the cosmos, something stirred. A force that had watched everything. A force that knew the truth the Council never did. The child's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was the beginning of something far darker. The dark truth emerges. Exiled, condemned, hated. The word heroes no longer belonged to Superman, Hulk, Iron Man, or Thor. They drifted in silence, their ship aimless, their purpose shattered. The galaxy had turned its back on them, but the universe wasn't finished with them yet. Because in the ashes of shame, whispers began to surface. Whispers of a truth buried beneath the boy's death. It started with a signal, not the broken cry of a child this time, but a hidden transmission coded and disguised. Iron Man caught it first. His HUD blinked with red warnings, a scrambled feed forcing its way into their systems. At first, he ignored it. He'd had enough of signals, enough of chasing voices through the void. But then he froze. The signal carried an emblem, the same emblem carved into the wreckage of the boy's planet. "Guys," Tony's voice cracked. "We need to see this." The screen lit up. A figure cloaked in shadow appeared, their voice distorted. The child's death was no accident. The four heroes leaned in, blood running cold. He was marked long before you arrived. His people's essence was never meant to survive. The Council knew. The Council wanted him gone. Thor slammed his hammer against the floor, the sound echoing like thunder. "Lies. The Council may judge, but they would never." "Wouldn't they?" the figure interrupted. "Why else build a defense system that targets saviors? Why else broadcast his death across the galaxy before the truth could surface?" The boy wasn't just hope. He was danger. His power could awaken something the Council fears. The feed crackled. Static. Silence. And then darkness. The signal ended. The heroes sat in stunned silence. Hulk's fist shook. "Council killed kid. Blamed us." Iron Man's mind raced. "It explains everything. The timing. The weapons. The way the trial was stacked against us. They needed us to take the fall." Superman clenched the boy's tattered cloak. His voice was steel. "Then we were not just exiled. We were betrayed." Thor's eyes burned with fire. "If this is true, then by Odin's name, the Council shall answer." But exposing the truth wasn't so simple. The galaxy already hated them. Billions believed they killed the boy. Their words meant nothing now. To reveal the truth, they needed proof, and proof meant facing the most dangerous powers in the cosmos. "We go back," Superman said firmly. "We find the source of that transmission. Whoever sent it knows more." Iron Man smirked bitterly. "Finally, something I can get behind. A suicide mission with zero credibility. Classic Avengers." Thor raised his hammer. "Not suicide, justice." And Hulk simply growled, "Smash lies." Their journey took them to the ruins of Xylar, the child's destroyed homeworld. The debris fields stretched for light years, twisted metal and broken stone drifting like tombstones in the void. Iron Man scanned the wreckage. The signal originated here, buried deep. They navigated through the silent graveyard of a planet until they reached it, a hidden vault shielded by crumbling defenses. Superman ripped through the barriers with raw strength. Thor cleared the path with lightning. Hulk crushed the rubble that blocked their way. Inside, they found records, fragments of data logs left behind by the Xylarians. And what they discovered shattered whatever faith they had left in the Council. The logs revealed everything. The boy wasn't just the last survivor. He carried within him an ancient energy, the Eternity Core, a force older than galaxies themselves. His people had hidden it inside their children, hoping to protect it from those who would misuse it. But the Council found out. They feared the core, feared its potential to challenge their power. And so, they destroyed Xylar. But one child survived. The defense system wasn't designed to protect him. It was designed to kill anyone who tried to help him, ensuring the core would never awaken. And when the Avengers arrived, the trap was sprung perfectly. Superman's fists shook, crushing metal in his hands. "They used us," Thor's voice thundered. "They made us executioners of innocence." Iron Man's voice cracked through gritted teeth. "And then they turned the whole universe against us to cover their tracks." Hulk's roar shook the vault, sending cracks through the walls. "Council liars." Hulk smashed Council. But the worst part wasn't the Council's betrayal. It was what the logs revealed at the very end. The boy's death had not destroyed the Eternity Core. It had released it. Somewhere in the galaxy, that power now drifted, unbound, uncontrolled, searching for a new host. The four heroes stood frozen. Superman's eyes glowed with dread. If the core falls into the wrong hands. Thor tightened his grip on Mjolnir. Worlds will burn. Iron Man's mind raced. And guess what? With our reputation, no one's going to believe us. We can't warn the galaxy. We can't call for help. We're public enemy number one. Hulk bared his teeth. Then we fight alone. Again. Superman stepped forward, his cape flowing, determination carved into every line of his face. We fight. We find the core. We prove the truth. And we make the Council pay. The others nodded. No hesitation. No turning back. Because now it wasn't about redemption. It was about revenge. And about saving a universe that no longer wanted them. The core finds a host. The ruins of Xylar still echoed in the minds of the heroes as their ship tore through the stars. The truth burned in their hearts now. The Council had betrayed them, framed them, and unleashed something far worse, the Eternity Core. For days, they chased faint traces of its energy across galaxies. Every reading was unstable, vanishing before they could arrive. The core was moving, shifting, searching, until one night it stopped. Iron Man's HUD lit up like fireworks. Signal just spiked, not random this time. Stable, consistent, and, he swallowed. It's not drifting anymore. It's bonded. Thor's grip on Mjolnir tightened. Bonded? To whom? Superman's face darkened. Not what? Who? The ship descended into a war-torn planet on the edge of the Council's reach, a barren wasteland where armies fought endlessly for scraps of survival. And there, in the middle of the battlefield, they saw it, a figure glowing with blue fire. A child, not the one they lost, but another. This child's eyes burned with cosmic light, his small body radiating a power that shook the sky. Soldiers around him fell to their knees, not in reverence, but in terror. The Eternity Core had found a new host. Hulk's chest heaved as he watched. Another kid with that power. Superman clenched his jaw. He doesn't know how to control it. Every surge could destroy this planet. The child screamed, his voice laced with panic. Bolts of raw energy exploded from his body, tearing through tanks, shattering towers, ripping the battlefield apart. He wasn't a warrior. He was terrified. Iron Man muttered, "If he keeps this up, this world's done for." Thor's eyes narrowed. Then we must reach him before the council does. But it was already too late. Ships appeared above the planet, sleek, black, marked with the insignia of the council. Armies poured down, surrounding the child like predators circling prey. Their leader's voice boomed across the field. "Seize the host. Kill the traitors. The traitors. The Avengers." The battlefield exploded into chaos. Thor summoned storms, lightning tearing through enemy ranks. Hulk roared, smashing through tanks like paper. Iron Man's repulsors lit the sky, precision strikes cutting down waves of soldiers. And Superman soared like a comet, shielding the child from the council's weapons, his cape a blazing banner of defiance. The galaxy had exiled them. The council had condemned them. But here, in this moment, they were heroes again, whether the universe wanted them or not. The child's cries cut through the madness. "Stop, please. I don't want this." Superman knelt before him, his voice firm but gentle. "Listen to me. You're stronger than this. You control the power, not the other way around." The boy's eyes flickered, torn between fear and trust. But before he could respond, a surge of energy erupted, stronger than anything before. It hurled Superman across the battlefield, cracked the ground open, and sent shockwaves rippling through the planet. And then, the council made their move. A colossal warship descended, dwarfing everything. Its cannons glowed with power, aimed not at the Avengers, but at the child. They weren't here to capture him. They were here to erase him. Iron Man cursed under his breath. They're going to do it again. Another execution, another cover-up. History repeats itself. Thor raised Mjolnir high, thunder answering his rage. Not this time. Superman wiped blood from his lip, eyes burning with defiance. "We protect him, no matter what." Hulk roared, slamming his fists into the ground. "No one kills Kid. Not again." The cannons fired. Blinding energy tore through the sky, a storm of destruction crashing down toward the boy. But this time, the heroes didn't hesitate. Superman soared into the blast, his body a shield of unbreakable will. Thor's lightning collided with the beam, splitting its fury. Hulk hurled himself upward, fists smashing against the impossible, while Iron Man unleashed every ounce of his armor's power to divert the strike. The ground shook. The sky burned. The universe seemed to hold its breath. And when the light cleared, the child was alive, still glowing, still terrified, but alive. And for the first time since their exile, the heroes stood together not in shame, but in defiance. The council had framed them. The galaxy had abandoned them. But they would not abandon this child. Not again. Redemption or ruin. The battlefield burned. Smoke rose into a blood-red sky as the council's warship hovered like a shadow of doom. Below, Superman, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor stood around the glowing child, 4 outcasts guarding the most dangerous life in the galaxy. The council's voice thundered from above. "Step aside, or be destroyed with him." Superman raised his chin, eyes blazing. "We already were destroyed. You did that when you killed the first child. We won't let you do it again." Thor spun Mjolnir, lightning rippling across the storm clouds. "By Odin's name, we shall not move." Hulk slammed his fists into the ground, the earth trembling beneath him. "Council lie." Hulk smashed liars. And Iron Man, battered and bleeding beneath his armor, gave a smirk. "Yeah, you picked the wrong Thor to frame." The war began. Waves of council soldiers rained down, energy, weapons blazing. Thor's storms ripped through the sky, scattering fleets like leaves in a hurricane. Hulk leapt into the air, smashing warships into craters. Iron Man became a streak of fire, unleashing repulsors, missiles, and lasers in a dazzling storm. And Superman, faster than thought, stronger than steel, tore through the Council's cannons, shielding the child with his own body. But the Council wasn't just an army. It was a monster. From the belly of the warship, a colossal weapon emerged, the Null Cannon, designed to erase not just life, but energy itself. One blast could obliterate the Eternity Core. The hero's blood ran cold. "Tony!" Superman shouted. Iron Man's HUD screamed warnings. "That thing's charging. If it fires, kid's gone. And so are we." Thor's jaw clenched. "Then we strike now. Together." Hulk growled, eyes burning green fire. Avengers fight. For the first time since their exile, the word didn't feel broken. It felt right. They launched. Thor hurled lightning into the cannon's core, sparks flying. Hulk ripped through armored plating with brute force. Iron Man hacked into its systems mid-flight, his suit tearing apart as he overloaded every weapon into the cannon circuits. And Superman drove himself against the weapon, holding it back with every ounce of Kryptonian strength. The cannon roared, energy building to catastrophic levels. The heroes strained, bleeding, breaking, but refusing to let go. And then the child screamed. The Eternity Core within him ignited, no longer wild, no longer uncontrolled. For the first time, he chose to fight. His body glowed like a newborn star, cosmic energy lashing out and wrapping around the heroes. Their strength doubled, their wounds healed, their spirits blazed. Together, with the core's power flowing through them, they pushed. One final strike. The cannon imploded. The warship shuddered, breaking apart in fire and chaos. The Council's fleets scattered, their power shattered. And in the smoke, the Avengers stood tall once more. Not as criminals, not as traitors, but as protectors. The galaxy saw everything. The child's survival, the Council's lies, the hero's sacrifice. Broadcasts spread across worlds, and for the first time, the truth couldn't be silenced. Billions watched in stunned silence as the Council's corruption was exposed. And 4 broken legends became heroes again. When the battle ended, the child stood between them, his eyes calm now. "You saved me." Superman knelt, smiling softly. "No, this time you saved us." Hulk patted the boy's shoulder gently. "Kid strong, stronger than Hulk." Thor raised Mjolnir high, his voice booming. "The core is safe. The child lives, and the Avengers endure." Iron Man, limping and battered, managed to grin. "Guess exile's over. You're welcome, universe." But as they looked at the stars, they knew the war wasn't finished. The Council would rebuild, the core would be hunted, and their names would always carry the weight of one unforgivable mistake. Yet they also knew something else, that no matter how hated, no matter how hunted, when the universe needed them, they would answer, because they were heroes, always.